there, my name is Matthew Peterson. I'm a trainer at Pragmatic Works in Northeast Florida. And for this video, I wanted to take to you a scenario I came across last week in a training session. So last week I was doing a training and helping out with some data modeling techniques where we had a really large table. We were concerned about stripping out some of the columns, housing them in a different table, and getting rid of the duplicates so we don't have all this redundant data. And so everything was going great, and then I had a student say, well, Matt, I'm going to definitely use that for some of my larger models, but I really have a unique situation here. I currently have a table of data where my employees will, every month, they will put in a new entry about the status update of the project that they are working on, with whatever team that they're with. And they put a new goal date, new end date, makes them all these updates. However, when they wanted to see the data, my student wants to see the data and start analyzing it, they don't care about the old stuff. They only wanted to look at the most recent update. I said, well, that's easy. Just load the data. We can do some DAX functions in here and use a calculate function to only return the latest or the max date. And they said, yeah, but my table's really big. I don't want to load all of the data because I want things to run as quickly as possible. Can I do this in the Power Query Editor and do some kind of filter? I said, well, sure, I'm sure that's possible. So I took a look at their data, and unbeknownst to me, there was definitely a glitch that I was not expecting. So let me show you some sample data and then show you how I actually fixed this. So here's kind of what they were looking at. They had an employee ID, a group ID, which is like what team they're on, their goal progress, and then every time they made an update, it logged what day they did this on and what year. And then they can update their goal, their start date, their end date, etc. So for example, if I'm looking at employee ID 321, who is part of team 178, there are two entries for them. And my student wanted to see the most recent. And so they would want to see the July. And then they would do that for all of their employees. They look for an employee, the group ID, as well as the work status, because they want to know if they've been open or closed, and find the most recent status update to analyze their data. So I'm like, yeah, this is an easy fix. Let's just do it in the Power Query Editor, and we can go for it. So let me just show you what I tried the first time so you can learn from my mistake, and then hopefully this will help you in the future. So what I did is said, okay, here's the data. I just loaded it into Power Query Editor. I said before we get rid of our duplicates, because we only want that one unique record, and we want that unique combination of employee ID, group ID, work status to be with the most recent status update, I said, well, let's just come over to status update. We're going to do a filter on it, or we're going to sort it, we're going to sort it in descending. So we see the latest dates first, the lowest, and then let's get rid of duplicates. So employee ID, group ID, work status, only give me the one unique value, so get rid of any duplicates, right? So I do a right click, I hit remove duplicates, and I did not see what I thought. I said, well, look, this is definitely, look, I have some ones in January, and I know that all of those records, and just to show it to you, all of those records, like for the 321176, I know that they did something way after January. They put one here in December. So this was not working out for me because their first status update was in January. So I said, well, Matt, you must have made a mistake. You probably sorted it incorrectly. So I went back to coming back. I said, well, you know what? Let's do the status update. Let's sort it instead of descending. Let's go ascending. And now let's try to actually remove our duplicates. So we click on remove duplicates here. Same exact results. So then that's where I got a little bit frustrated. I'm like, well, there's something going on. So I did a little bit of research, and from what I found in terms of this is that when Power Query, we put all these applied steps in there. Just because we put them in a certain order, if Power Query thinks that they can do it in a different order and still give you the same results, but make the loading of the data more efficient, the refreshing of the data more efficient, it's going to do that. And so one of those things is the sort comes at the end, because they just think that the sort is how you want to view it in the data view. So that's not what we want. We actually want the sort to happen and then remove the duplicates. So there's a function out there, an NM function called Table.Buffer. And what that does is when you wrap that in and you use that, it actually takes that step in your applied steps and loads that data into the RAM, into the random access memory, which then allows us to actually see the exact view of what we want Power Query to see and then do the remove duplicates. And that's what we did in order to fix this. So let me show you how the fix works. So you need to come up to your we're going to do the sorting here, and it is going to be sort in descending. So we see the newest first, then the latest. And then what I have to do is in the formula bar, we're going to wrap this table.sort. We're going to wrap it in the Table.Buffer. We're going to put it inside the Table.Buffer selection. So that way it knows, hey, what happens in here, I'm going to store this, and then all of your steps underneath is going to look at this exact picture of your data in the Power Query Editor. So the way I'm going to do this to make it easy, I'm going to expand this out. I'm going to hit Shift-Enter just so I can see this a little bit easier. Let me zoom in here. And the function is Table.Sort. So Table.Sort, tab that over. And for the Table.Sort, you need to give it a table. And this is the table that we, actually not Table.Sort, I want to do Table.Buffer because we were already doing the sort. And so Table.Buffer says, hey, give me a table, and then I'll hold that data in random access memory. So all I need to do is put a parentheses. So that way it gets the first table, and then I need to close it out at the end with the parentheses because that's what's getting into it. And let's hit the check here. So far, so good. So it's still the same thing in terms of sorting, but now when I remove my duplicates, so ID, group ID, work status, right click, remove duplicates, now things are perfect. Look what we've got. 321178. It's now showing me that July 31st was the most recent one. In terms of the 789348, it's September. So let's just do a quick check on that to make sure we did not lie here. 789348 open. Let's come over here to take a look. 789348 opens. That is this section right here. And if we take a look, let me get a little bit easier of a color. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So it looks like here August should be the one that we're seeing. And if we take a look, actually, you know what? There's a September. This is pulling back a September. Maybe I missed one over here for 789. Oh, there it is. Yeah, because I already have it highlighted. September is there. So if you are ever in the need of removing duplicates in your data, but you want to do it based off of another column, like the most recent or the latest, you need to do that sorting of it, and you have to put that Table.Buffer command in there. So I hope this is a good quick trick for you. Maybe you can use this in any of your data modeling projects that you're working on. If you like the video, click like, click subscribe, put in the comments what you would like for me to discuss anytime in the future because I love making these videos once a week. All right, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.